I was arrested for other charges yesterday by the
So you got these just yesterday?
They arrested me.
These are
I was arrested under caution, questioned about 3 tweets.
So Tommy Robinson has made his choice, and trust me, it will help him avoid jail. Yesterday, I urged the Under Fire activist, who has now been arrested for social media posts in the latest dystopian free speech outrage hitting 1984 Britain, to avoid sitting down with Piers Morgan, who is attempting to get him locked up again by tricking him into a contempt of court violation over his silenced documentary.
And so I watch the way he gets lauded in America and I think, well, this is ridiculous. I've challenged him to come on Uncensored again. We had a fiery debate on Good Morning Britain many years ago in which he came on and waved the Quran, which I thought was pathetic, and told him so to his face. So far, he's ducked me. And I think it's because he knows I see through a lot of it. And if he wants to come on and he wants to have a proper sit down with me, and we can get into exactly why he's just been in prison, because it's got nothing to do with what he says he's been a victim of, which is the establishment trying to silence him. No, you lied. You got caught lying. You were told if you lied again, you go to prison for contempt of court. You lied again. You made a film. You promoted it. You came over and promoted it. And you therefore were found guilty of contempt of court, my sunshine. So that's what actually happened.
Now, late last night, Tommy announced his decision. He will not be appearing on Piers Morgan Uncensored, but will instead sit down for a truly uncensored interview here on Outspoken this Friday before he leaves the country again. So he posted on X, looking forward to a sit down with Dan Wootton this week, which raised the ire of Piers, who responded with 2 bitter words: bottle job. Now, that couldn't be further from the truth. The British establishment and MSM, including Piers, are determined to see Tommy back behind bars before next month's Uniting the Kingdom rally. It's critical he doesn't fall into their trap, especially after the MSM lunacy this past week, after a simple act of self-defense was turned into an opportunity by The Sun to treat Tommy as the world's most wanted criminal on the run, even though he had arranged with the police to meet him at Luton Airport following the attack that wasn't. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favour, click the subscribe button now, turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos.
I am in London and had a fight with the door. And I am at London Real.
But Tommy is taking no prisoners today, branding left-wing comedian Jonathan Pye a soy-infused mug after he branded him a thug on X. Watch.
I would love to see a little soy boy bitch like you last a day in my shoes. You wouldn't last a day. The first sign of confrontation. I have no security and I walk everywhere, every day. I don't go around attacking people. But I do defend myself. How many times do you think I've been in a situation of being confronted when I walk around on my own? I've been confronted in front of my children, in front of my family, in front of my wife. I only ever defend myself. What I done here, what would you do, Jonathan? Someone's coming up to you, getting in your face, threatening violence against you, following you, harassing you, getting in your way so you can't walk round him. What would you do? And then finally charges at you with his hands up, attacking you. What would you do, soy boy? Okay? You'd only be happy if it was me laying on the floor, wouldn't you? Unfortunately, it's not me laying on the floor, is it? It wasn't. So I ain't going to apologise for defending myself. You're a soy boy, little bitch.
The deranged lawfare against Tommy, though, and this is much more serious, will not stop. Trust me, because they will find anything, including posts on X, that their little snowflake minds either don't particularly believe or find offensive. So that's right, Sadiq Khan's overwhelmed Met Police force that regularly turns its back on the most horrifying violent crimes, including the out-of-control scourge of Pakistani Muslim rape gangs, is now turning its attention to Tommy's X account in an attempt to silence him before next month's rally. Look here from Inevitable West. Tommy Robinson posted the fact that a school in the UK had no students which spoke English as a first language. He's now under investigation by the British state for that post. Facts are now illegal in the UK. And what was most shocking is that the Mercian said that the reason the Met Police have given for these posts being investigated is because they convey information known to be false or are grossly offensive. That was soon backed up by Tommy's team, who confirmed when Tommy Robinson was detained last night, he was arrested by Met Police for these social media posts. And when you think about this, right, it's utterly disturbing. As he says, free speech is dead in the UK under Keir Starmer's regime. Check this out, Elon Musk. After his questioning, he broke down in tears, but not tears of sadness, but tears of laughter. Because sometimes you do actually have to realize the madness of this dystopian hellscape we are currently living in. Watch this.
I came here to talk about you getting bail, but you showed me this, and it's almost too much to believe.
I was arrested for other charges yesterday by the Met.
So you got these just yesterday?
They arrested me.
These are
I was arrested under caution, questioned about 3 tweets.
So we've got those tweets here. I'll start with this one here.
Start with this one. Yeah?
Okay.
Let me explain this one.
So this says crime. These are
Crime. No, this is a crime. This is not non-crime. This is a crime. I was arrested.
You were arrested.
I was arrested for this. Now, what I've done is, this is sharing something from the Daily Mail newspaper. This is a Daily Mail article. So when they sat me down, they said, I think it's the Internet Harms Act 2023.
Yeah, that's a new law just the last week.
Yeah. Are you accredited? When they say credited, so media, journalists, they listed all these things. And the point, and so my solicitor butts in and says, hold on. So they said, you've shared this article, yeah, on your X account.
And you're saying that's a Daily Mail article,
Daily Mail article.
But because you shared it and you don't have it's almost like
They're
that
protected.
meme, where's your license, mate?
Yeah, they're protected.
Where's your Twitter
so
license?
They're exempt from this law.
Oh my God.
So the recognised media, as in the government recognised media, are exempt from this law, but they're now using the law.
So they're checking who's an official person before they retweet a Daily Mail story.
And then you're arrested.
And
then you're arrested.
So this is completely different.
And do you know what they said? And they said the point, because this is Daily Mail article, and what they say is, a primary school in East London has been named as the first in the UK where none of the children's first language is English. Yeah, and then they show some pictures of pupils. The school sits in a quiet side street, a busy commercial road in Whitechapel, a district once synonymous with Jack the Ripper, the Cray twins, and home to the nation's true Cockneys. Now that word was added onto Daily Mail article. Now this. Mm-hmm. Now what he said is, are you saying that those Bengali girls wearing headscarves are not Cockneys? And then the copper read out the definition of Cockney.
Oh my God!
The definition of Cockney
It's too much.
The definition of Cockney is, I'm crying my eyes out at this point. The definition of Cockney is someone born in East London, yeah?
Oh my
So he's like,
God.
Are you saying that they're not Cockneys? I was like,
oh my God, it's too much. That sounds like an
Cockney's
absurd comedy.
I mean, it truly is too much. It is truly insane. If you were not laughing, you would be crying about the current state of our country. And by the way, can I just say the idea that anyone working for the Daily Mail is any more of a reporter than the new army of brilliant and brave independent citizen journalists really is for the birds. But this isn't a one-off. With the Daily Telegraph reporting, the next lot to be targeted will be critics of migrant hotels. So it does feel like time for an SOS to the rest of the world. And finally, America appears to be waking up to the fact that Slippery Starmer's free speech pledge to Trump at Turnberry and J.D. Vance in the Oval Office was nothing more than a sick lie. Fox News and Michael Schallenberger really raising the world's attention to the extent of this predicament. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin, he said. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices so he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He describes it as being almost like Photoshop for your face and says you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. So in light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. It is free, it is uninterrupted, and he will outline exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he said if it helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, he will actually be thrilled knowing that he helped. The video's gone viral as you'd expect. It started on Facebook, over 2.3 million views now. The comments and feedback have been outstanding too. Thousands of women report they look decades younger. One commented that it was the best result of anything they've used. They said, I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you. So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken, or if it's easier for you, you can just click on the link in the description box below this video. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. There is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers, though. He says, if watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
In 1984 called, and he wants its Ministry of Truth back. The UK has created an elite police unit known as the National Internet Intelligence Investigations Team, dedicated to monitoring anti-migrant social media posts. Leaders claim its purpose is to detect early signs of potential unrest.
Unrest like this protest and counter-protest had erupted after a 38-year-old asylum-seeking migrant was charged with sexual assault for attempting to kiss a 14-year-old girl.
Despite the surveillance, UK's Prime Minister insists he still believes in free speech.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that. We protect it.
Well, with us now to react is Public News founder Michael Schellenberger. Michael, it is true that the United Kingdom and the West has a fairly robust tradition, long-standing when it comes to free speech, but I'm not so sure that's true anymore. I mean, there's story after story about people being thrown behind bars in the UK, even for tweets that they have deleted, with longer prison sentences than people who've committed actual physical violent crimes.
Yeah, that's right, Guy. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible story. I mean, there's a woman that's in prison for 31 months, which is 4 months longer than a child rapist is in prison. And what all she did was have a tweet up for 4 hours that she ended up taking down. This is a sweeping crackdown on free speech in Great Britain that we have not seen anything like in maybe hundreds of years. I mean, it's really astonishing. It's happening at multiple levels. Keep in mind, they were already arresting 30 people a day for wrong speech in Britain before this. Now they have a special police task force to constantly monitor social media, including X, formerly Twitter, and they can stop content based on age verification. So they can stop content saying, oh, this is harmful to mental health. And then X recently, just a few days ago, did block content on the basis of the British order to be able to identify if people were old enough to see it.
Now, am I humiliated that this is where the UK finds itself? Hell, yes, I am. But given how vulnerable any of us who raise our head above the parapet now are, I'm also very ready for the world to wake up. I mean, do you know Americans are now even being warned against travel to the UK on free speech grounds?
Americans now have to worry about traveling to Europe and saying the wrong thing or posting the wrong thing or have posted the wrong thing many years ago. Being in these so-called Western countries, they could face arrest by the Europeans or the Canadians.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's how 1984 works, is they want you to be afraid of what you're going to say. They want you to be afraid of saying something controversial and then not expressing it. That's one of the most damaging things to free speech here. America was founded on the idea we have to be free to speak our minds Europe has taken us in an absolutely terrifying and totalitarian direction.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank God for the First Amendment here.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and how jealous we are that we don't have it. And I've reached the sad conclusion that only shaming us on an international scale like that could help save the UK from the tyranny of Slippery Starmer's regime, where free speech is now ancient history and billionaires are fleeing the country on a daily basis as this invasion of epic proportions from the third world continues at pace. Meanwhile, on Woke ITV this lunchtime, a doctor in a hijab oversaw a man checking his vulva. God help our disunited kingdom, and God damn our corrupt mainstream media. Now, the Superstar Panel. Father Calvin Robinson, what's the sense from the US? Do you feel like what's happening here, the fact that people like Tommy Robinson now being arrested and having to defend the fact that they may have posted a tweet, which is something that people don't agree with, is that receiving traction in the United States? Are people aware of quite how bad things are here?
They're getting the message, but it's hard to keep up because every single week there's something new. It's ridiculous. I think from this side of the pond, looking over to the UK, it's like looking over to the Soviet Union. It's like looking over to communist China. When we look back to Britain, it's a great shame to see what was once a good free nation becoming just another Marxist entity. The Tommy Robinson incident is a great example. What? Some tweets. Like I didn't even personally agree with all three of the tweets, but I don't think any of them should be illegal. They're tweets, for goodness sake. Crime is rampant. Rape, knife crime, burglaries. You know, we see on the streets of London now, they have this tape, don't stand too close to the edge, you might get your bag snatched. Well, just arrest the people snatching bags, for goodness sake. When I lived in London, I got burgled. Do you think the police found the burglars, even though I had CCTV and there was DNA evidence? No, of course they didn't. They don't solve actual crimes anymore because they're too busy fixating on people saying the wrong thing, which is anything that goes against the approved narrative of Sir Keir Starmer and his communist government. We also know that the Labour Party were lobbying big tech to try and censor the approved narrative of the two-tier system. We can't have anyone speaking about the two-tiered system. Why? Because there is a two-tiered system, and they don't want the truth out there. They don't want us to have the freedom to say what we think.
By the way, I'm so glad that you've mentioned this shocking new development in London, because people didn't know if this was real. I didn't know if it was real or not, but Adam Wren has actually been down and got this picture proving that it is. So what you'll see there is that is now something painted on the main thoroughfare of central London's shopping district, Tottenham Court Road, just down from Oxford Street. And it says,
please mind
the grab, step back from the curb, phone snatching hotspot. Now,
they're mocking us, Dan. Mind the gap is kind of part of the British culture. Please mind the gap. Wherever you go in the world, they know, please mind the gap, right? And so they're using that language to mock us, to mock our culture. It's victim blaming. It's saying, you people, stop getting your bag snatched. Mind the grab, for goodness sake. Do you know what happens in London? That should not be happening in London. It's atrocious that it is. And it's even worse that instead of stopping it, they're targeting the people who are getting their bags snatched in the first place. What have we become? They're actually laughing at us.
100%. 100%. Now, David Atherton, great to have you back on the show. I believe that you have also been targeted for posting the same tweet that Tommy Robinson has now been arrested for.
Indeed, yes. In January of 2024, I sent it out. It's the Palestinian one with the profane language and a certain critique of Islam. And I got an email from the Metropolitan Police in Kingston asking me to come in and have a word about it. And I said, no, am I obliged to come in? No, I'm not. But if you don't come in, we will arrest you. And then one day I had a knock at the door from two Metropolitan Police officers and they handed me a hard copy letter, demanding that I come in tomorrow morning and be interviewed. I went down there. I commented the interview. And about 3-4 months later, I got a phone call from the detective constable saying that there will be no further action. That's the one there. That's the very one. That's the very one I
But that
sent
takes
out.
so much time. This takes
Yeah.
so much time. And
Sure.
meantime, we have violent crimes which are ignored on a daily basis in London. I mean, I find it astonishing. Ross Kempsell, who runs the Guido Fawkes website, posted about this Mind the Grab. Unbelievable. This is completely wrong-headed and represents capitulation of the urban environment to criminality. It should be removed and replaced with zero-tolerance policing instead. But it's funny, Dave, because it feels like the only zero-tolerance policing at the moment is towards social media.
I think the broader problem with that the Labour government has, and I think government full stop has, with social media, they've completely lost the narrative. We can fact check them 24/7, 365. Yes, there's some wild stuff on social media. I've been caught out sending the odd dodgy tweet out myself, but 99% of what I send out is in good faith and is accurate.
Yeah, but who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, journalists are not sent to prison. I mean, can we just look at our mainstream media over the past 10 years?
Yeah.
If journalists were going to be sent to prison for telling lies, then you should lock up Beth Rigby, lock up Robert Peston, lock up Laura Koonsberg. All of the mainstream media have told lies, for example, over Brexit, over the COVID pandemic. So that is actually not even something that the police should think that is part of their remit, because very often things that people post in one moment and derided as untrue in a few weeks or a few months or in a few years are very often proven to be true. It's none of their damn business. We have to have free journalism.
Well, absolutely, we do. As you rightly said, the citizen journalism that's going on at the moment really is a tour de force. And congratulations to everybody, whether they run a little X space or whether they do a bit of filming a demonstration. The coverage has been absolutely fantastic.
Totally. Well, it's waking up, isn't it? It's waking up the mainstream media. Father Calvin, do you understand the point that I'm making, by the way, about Tommy Robinson not going on Piers Morgan? Because I would have no problem if it was going to be a good faith discussion where Piers Morgan said everything's on the table and we're going to debate Islam, because I actually think Tommy would end up owning Piers Morgan, to be honest. But what he's done is set this very limited ground on which he wants to conduct the interview, all about Tommy's film Silenced. Now, we know, Father Calvin, that if Tommy sticks up for that film and effectively defends it, he will be in contempt of court and the authorities will have a chance to send him back to jail. And Piers is saying, I only want you on if you're going to talk in detail about that film, which Tommy has said, I cannot do. So what is the point?
Yeah, Piers Morgan is a bad faith actor at this point, to keep publicly saying, Tommy's not brave enough to come on my show, and then keep setting these criteria. You can only come on my show if you only talk about this specific thing. Because he wants a gotcha moment. And he knows that the last time Tommy was on GMB, Tommy made him look foolish because Piers was flapping, don't touch the Quran, don't touch the blessed Quran, for goodness sake, we'll all lose our heads. And Tommy's right, no, this is my book, I want to talk about it. And rightly so. And Piers looked like a fool, and he doesn't want to look like a fool again. So he's pinned down, what can I get Tommy on? I'll get him on the minutiae of this documentary that he made. He's not a professional documentary maker. He's just a citizen journalist trying to release the truth as best he can. And so Piers is like, I'm going to get him on that date or that time there. It's not good journalism. If Tommy is going to do something with Piers, they'd need a moderator at this point. It would need to be some independent channel.
Yes.
Because Piers is not an unbiased person. But the thing I also want to specify is that there's no official journalism. There's no accredited journalism.
No.
You can get a press card, yes, if you join a press union, but who wants to be a member of a union these days? We all know how biased they are.
And there
how
shouldn't be.
Marxist and leftist they are.
There shouldn't be. Look, I've worked with these people. On the whole, they're scumbags, and they're certainly not people who are any more educated than anyone in the independent media space, because on the whole, they go with the narrative. They do what they're told because they know they've got to take their paycheck at the end of the day, and there are paymasters there, many of them billionaires, and at the end of the day, you're not prepared to, if you stay within that mainstream media ecosystem, you're not prepared to challenge that narrative. I am very happy to say, though, Tommy will be sitting down with me on Friday. Nothing will be off limits, so make sure you are back for that. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.